A warm welcome to another episode of Service to Humanity, a program which showcases the strides of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development as it carries out its mandate. The National Senior Citizens Center is one of the new agencies under the Humanitarian Ministry and one which has been up and doing in ensuring a better life for older citizens in Nigeria. Tonight, the Director General of the Center will be taking us through the activities of the Center in a special interview with our crew. Another story will be the onboarding of mastercraft persons under the N-Skills program of the NPower in preparation for the next batch of NPower N-Skills trainees. These and more in this episode of the program. I am Habiba Zakzak, urging you to please stay tuned for the full program after the break. The program starts with the Management Diary, where we have news from the ministry and her agencies. In our lineup, President Buhari confers Humanitarian Minister with Nigeria Excellence Award in Public Service, and NEMA receives real-time monitoring communication equipment to tackle flood. Stay tuned for details.
President Muhammadu Buhari has conferred the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajiya Sadiya Umar Farooq, with an award of excellence for her social and humanitarian interventions in the country. Farooq was one of 44 awardees of the Nigeria Excellence Award in Public Service, which was presented on Friday by the President at the State House in Abuja. President Buhari stated that the award is in recognition of those who excelled and distinguished themselves in service to humanity. According to President Buhari, the award is born out of empirical evidence of the minister's performance in various sectors of the economy. He added that she is receiving the award because she has distinguished herself in service to humanity and contributed to the transformation of the country. While thanking the President and expressing delight in her nomination after she received the award, Farooq stated that it is an important landmark for her personally, as the award serves as a recognition of her modest achievements in the course of her wider public service life to date and in her assigned mandate in the social and humanitarian intervention space in the past years.
In case there's any disaster, NEMA staff can be dispatched to the disaster site.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has received a monitoring and communication equipment to tackle the menace of flood in remote villages. Director General of NEMA, Mustafa Habib Ahmed, who commissioned the facility, said to be worth over $300,000, was donated by King Salman Humanitarian Aid Relief Center of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. While thanking the KS Relief, the Director General noted that the equipment could not have come at a better time than now.
The real-time monitoring and communication equipment and proposed relief assistance are timely and cannot come at a better time than now, when our country is bearing the brunt of widespread flood disaster. With 603 lives lost, 1,302,589 people displaced, and critical assets, including roads and farmlands, washed away as a result of the intensive deluge. The equipment donated to the NEMA will no doubt enable NEMA to carry out effective coordination of its relief and recovery activities across the affected states as we pass through this challenging moment.
On his part, the leader of the KS Relief Center, Ali Yusuf Abdul Mohsin, explained that the center has efficiently implemented many projects with NEMA and around 1 million people have been reached with food assistance carefully designed to take the local consumption habit into consideration.
Our relationship was further strengthened with NEMA, with approval of capacity development project to upgrade the coordination and information sharing capacity of NEMA to enhance emergency response. Provision of communication equipment will facilitate the communication between NEMA and the field offices and enable NEMA to coordinate humanitarian response to affected population in the country.
As he commissioned the equipment in a ceremony in Abuja, the Director General was given a demonstration of how the equipment functions.
So this is Mina here. This is Yola here. And then that's the head office here. So the head office can also be seen in one.
There are 3,219,780 persons affected by floods this year.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajiya Sadiya Umar Farooq, has stated that the federal government has distributed relief materials to 21 states across the country affected by flooding. Speaking at a press briefing she held to keep the public abreast on the government's response efforts to the natural disaster, Farooq revealed that the Humanitarian Ministry and the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, coordinated the interventions. The minister noted that as of October 24, 2022, a total of 3,219,780 persons were reportedly affected by floods across the country.
There are 1,427,370 persons that have been internally displaced. Approximately 2,776 persons have been injured, and approximately 612 people have been killed. 181,600 houses have been partially damaged, and another 123,807 houses have been totally damaged. Finally, 176,852 hectares of farmlands have been partially damaged, and 392,399 hectares of farmlands have been totally damaged.
The minister said 21 states have received food and non-food relief items from the federal government.
These states are Abia, Adamawa, Anambra, Bayelsa, Ekiti, Enugu, FCT, Imo, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Kwara, Lagos, Nasarawa, Niger, Ogun, Ondo, Oyo, Sokoto, Taraba, and Yobe states. Distribution to other states affected by floods in Nigeria is ongoing. The materials being distributed are emergency flood food items and non-food items. The food items include rice, maize, garri, vegetable oil, tomato tin, seasoning, and beans, while the non-food items are materials used to assist with temporary shelters for displaced communities, and this includes roofing sheets, cement, nails, ceiling boards, blankets, nylon mats, mattresses, and zinc.
On search and rescue operations, the minister commended local communities for their resilience in the face of the disasters, adding that the search and rescue teams who are responsible for evacuating people and providing life-saving first aid and medical support and referrals to hospitals has so far been able to reach 199 local government areas within 25 states. While urging communities at risk to adhere to warnings and instructions issued by these teams as they work to protect and save lives, Farooq reiterated the federal government's commitment to help all areas and people affected by the floods.
We see you and we hear you. We are doing our best and call on more stakeholders to assist us. Next week, a high-level delegation will be visiting a few states to follow up on the operations and to identify any new challenges and gaps in the operations that need to be addressed. It will also help us see the reality on the ground and provide an opportunity to meet with victims and families that have been affected.
Welcome back. On the 1st of August 2022, the National Senior Citizens Center marked its one-year anniversary with the opening of its office in Abuja. Fast forward to 5th of October 2022, The center also marked the National Day for Older Persons as approved by President Muhammadu Buhari, with another grand celebration which saw older citizens from all walks of life being celebrated. These activities are obvious signs that older citizens in Nigeria are now recognized and targeted to be given better life and opportunities. Our crew was with the Director General of the National Senior Citizens Center, Dr. M.M. Omokaro, where they discussed about the center and its journey so far. Let's get that story.
With a population of 14.8 million older persons in Nigeria, the driving force behind the National Senior Citizens Center is rooted in the passion and deep understanding of the dynamics and challenge of disrupting the traditional pessimistic perceptions of aging and older persons. Challenges older citizens face come in different forms.
In so many thematic areas, older persons have been excluded. So that is number one critical challenge, ageism, their attitude towards older people, that they are not right holders, that because they are old, therefore any investment in them is a waste. Because they are old, why are you bothering with health insurance? Shouldn't they die off? Haven't they spent, their time and then because they are old, you see investment in older persons as though you are cheating younger people.
Unpaid pension and abandonment are another challenge faced by older persons. Since the creation of the center, older persons have earned recognition and representation in programs and policies of government. The DG shares the vision of the National Senior Citizens Center.
The vision is that Nigeria indeed can be inclusive. We see an inclusive Nigeria where every older person, can, live a dignified life, a secure life, a healthy life, and a happy life, and where every older person has a chance and can continue to participate in whatever they have reason to value. And then where they need care, they can access appropriate and affordable care wherever they choose to reside.
Reaching out to the numerous older citizens in Nigeria would not be an easy job. So, the National Senior Citizens Center has adopted research and a multi-sectorial partnership approach, which makes achieving this vision easier.
We have developed extensive partnerships with MDAs. As I speak to you now, we have 32 desk on aging in 32 MDAs with desk officers, 2 per MDA trained, in aging policy as it relates to their own statutory mandates. And we have all these all aging desk officers in an operational platform where we constantly engage them. So through these multi-sectoral partnerships and of course research, through research and data generation, we'll be able to identify the needs and cater for these needs and then position ourselves.
Omokaro also speaks on measures the National Senior Citizens Center and other sister agencies are taking to meet the desired goal of giving Nigerian older citizens a better life.
We have also worked with MBS to now also disaggregate data on business owners. How many older people? What's the percentage of older persons who own enterprises, who are working on enterprises? So we are working with MBS to disaggregate all this. And then with NSCC, we've also been able to get the population of older persons that are poor and vulnerable across the states and the local governments, and they are still capturing. And then with NSCC, of course, NSCC has a statutory mandate for identity management. And you would recall, that the president also granted us that NSCC will work with the statutory agency to progressively register older persons for that special functional ID that will allow them to access age-friendly services, priority treatments and discounts and concessions, public places.
Recently, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk has approved the creation of a stand-alone social register for older people.
So very soon we are going to launch that. So older person social safety net program. I'm so excited. So, and I know that already we have more than 250,000 older people that have been transitioned from the household, into this particular, standalone data.
You are still watching Service to Humanity, a program which brings you activities of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development and its agencies. In preparation for the next batch of the NPower N-Skills trainees, the Humanitarian Ministry has concluded the training of mastercraft persons who will in turn train the future beneficiaries of the N-Skills during their 6-month apprenticeship under the program. Our crew was in Abuja to cover the event. Let's see how it went.
Are you aware today that the highest number of medical doctors in the US are Nigerians?
The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has completed a training of 1,830 mastercraft persons to boost the N-Skills apprenticeship program across the country. The 1,830 mastercraft persons selected by the ministry from the 36 states and the FCT have been prepared to train N-Skills beneficiaries for the 6 months apprenticeship programs. The NCPs were carefully selected using National Board for Technical Education-based criteria.
Since the inception of the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015,
at the closing ceremony in Abuja, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, was represented by the National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Programs, Engineer Umar Bindir, noted that the Humanitarian Ministry instituted processes to revamp and expand the NSIP and to make it more impactful on the economy and citizens in furtherance to President Muhammadu Buhari's approval for the restructuring of NSIP.
Mr. President's approval for the reform and expansion of the NSIP ensured that we introduce the N-Skills program, which is based on a certification system and an accreditation system to train young people through the informal apprenticeship system anchored by the master craftspersons, and through the formal training system from the Community Skills Development Centers, COSDEX. This is necessary to ensure that we accommodate those categories of beneficiaries in our country that are not covered by the traditional NPower package.
She added that the ministry piloted the N-Skills program with the tooling and training of 6,475 youths selected from the 36 states and FCT on smartphone repairs and service in 2021. And currently, the ministry is onboarding N-Skills beneficiaries for the training on 11 trades, namely auto mechanic, leatherworks and shoemaking, smart devices, welding and fabrication, aluminium assembly and fabrication, carpentry, plumbing and piping. Others are electrical installations, agency banking, tailoring and embroidery, baking and cosmetology, fish farming, jewelry making and wire works. At the end of the ceremony, the NCPs were issued with certificates. Interacting with journalists, representative of the minister, Engineer Umar Bindir, stated that more of such trainings should be expected at least twice every year.
The demand for training under the N-Skills package of the NPower is huge because it is targeting graduates of primary schools, primary school dropouts, and totally uneducated people that are massive in this country. And these people are able, they can learn to provide technology services in construction, in productivity, in repairs. So our own strategy is to ensure that every year, at least we launch 2 of these programs. Because the program takes a period of 6 to 9 months. Therefore, each program will now last for that long. But every year, we hope to launch the N-Skills training twice.
Philip Maga, FCT coordinator of the N-Skills Enumeration Program, mentioned areas the MCPs were trained on.
The training was given in 3 modules. The first one is an overview of the skills program, the N-Skill, and then the National Skill Qualification Framework, which is going to be used as a structural framework for the delivery. The second part has to do with competency-based training, which they are going to apply. And that is talking about life skills. And the third one is about managing the operations of the apprentice training under the N-Skill that they are going to be doing. So basically, we've given them all the backgrounds and the knowledge and understanding of how they are going to implement these deliveries. And this is very, very effective.
Meanwhile, some of the NCPs expressed delight on their participation in the training and how they intend to handle the trainees.
As a master craft person, I've learned how to tolerate a customer, to have a positive attitude towards the customer, and how I'm going to attend to my trainees, people that will learn under me, how to attend to them, taking their attendance, which is very key, giving them certificates, and making sure that I give them the needed skill.
Many people are willing to learn carpentry and woodworks. Some of them are orphans and are all under my care. If the ministry sends more trainees to us, we will still accept them and train them. Our aim is to empower youth with relevant skills to fend for themselves and uphold their dignity.
There was a message for the federal government and the general public from the master craft persons.
Thank you for this, because I'm a graduate of chemistry, but at least that one is not giving me, it's not that one that brought me here, it's the skill. So at least I'll say, government, thank you for this skill. I'm so happy, I'm so grateful. And to the general public, according to Patani, what we are taught here, he said, get a skill and not university degree. So I will try to tell everybody that at least, even though you're a graduate, just try and get a skill.
We thank the Minister Sadia Umar Farouk. May Allah reward her. We also thank President Muhammadu Buhari. We will continue to enlighten our Fulani brothers to join this empowerment. We further seek the assistance of the federal government to empower us with more tools and guidance.
And that concludes this week's episode of Service to Humanity. Congratulations to the Humanitarian Minister, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, on her Presidential Award of Excellence in Public Service. We say more power to your elbow. Join me again same time next week for more on the strides of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. Have a great evening and see you next week.